People of IT, Steve Jobs. The CEO of annual income of $1. In June 2010, Apple had a presentation for its new product. Journalists from all over the world flocked to the place because the leading IT company of America was releasing its new product. They have just showcased a pad 2 months ago, and they are already releasing another new product? I know, Jobs is incredible, the journalists chatted while they were waiting for the presentation to start. The center of the conversation was definitely the CEO of Apple, Steve Jobs. Later, the presentation for the new product started, and a man slowly walked up to the stage. Every eye was on him at once. I heard that he was really sick, but he still looks pretty confident. Jobs looked gaunt. It was because he had been treated for his cancer for several years and was struggling against diseases after having a liver transplant. But from how he talked and how acted, he did not look like a patient. He was in his usual black turtleneck sweater and jeans, joking and smiling, and in his usual sneakers instead of leather shoes. People who had seen him whispered. Who would say he is the CEO of an international company after just seeing him? Yeah, it seems like he's very frugal. It looks like he's been working until just now. When Jobs took out the new product, people were even more surprised. Wow, that's the latest smartphone. Whoa, it looks even more chic than before. What Jobs showed to the public that day was a new smartphone, iPhone 4. Apple was already the leading runner in the smartphone market of the world, but it did not stop and boast about it, but kept developing a new product for the future. Jobs opened his mouth and started to speak in a calm and magnetic voice. Ladies and gentlemen, this one has a more vivid display, and it got thinner. We added more than 100 new functions here as well. People at the presentation gasped. Steve Jobs is indeed Steve Jobs. Nobody can copy his challenger spirit and imaginations. People were sincere with their compliments. It is hard to live your life passionately like him when your life is in danger. As a matter of fact, Jobs did not have an easy life when he was a kid. He had to live with his foster parents because his father left his mother as soon as Jobs was born. It was difficult for a woman to live alone and raise a child at the time. Jobs's mother told the foster parents her wishes with dire earnestness. I can't keep my child with how I make a living. I'm very sorry to ask you this, but please give him a college education. Jobs's mom pleaded many times, worried about his future. Fortunately, the foster parents were good people. They put all their effort into taking care of him and sent him to a college. Even when Steve caused trouble by taking drugs once and became eccentric after getting involved with Eastern philosophies. Steve, we made a promise with your biological mother. We hope you study hard and get a good job. But Jobs had a different idea. He did not like what he was learning at the college. Do I really have to graduate from a college to live my life right? I can't live this wishy-washy life while wasting my parents' money. So he quit college after 1 year. Then he traveled India for several months and started to work at a computer company named Atari. Jobs had been interested in computers since he was young, and he talked a lot with his high school senior and a computer expert, Steve Wozniak. They were sure that the computer culture would progress quickly. "Steve, let's make a computer that will shock the world together." Wozniak was excited by what Jobs said. "Of course, with my skills and with your imaginations, there's nothing we can't do." So they decided to build a company together and pondered on the company name. A few days later, Jobs finally came up with a simple but ingenious name. How about Apple? It's easy, and you can remember it immediately. Wozniak agreed with Jobs' idea, clapping. In 1976, Steve Jobs made his first step as an entrepreneur at the age of 21. It was just in time for people to start getting interested in personal computers. The tenderfoot company Apple put all its effort into developing personal computers and brought Apple I and Apple II to the world. Hey, it looks really cool. If I were to have a computer, this is the one I want. People reacted to them beyond Apple's expectations, and Apple grew dramatically. In only a few years, they made yearly sales of over $100 million. But Jobs did not settle with the present. He focused on developing a more convenient computer with a higher performance. Is it impossible to operate a computer without any complicated commands? I think it is possible to make it operable with a mouse. Jobs kept on dreaming, and after days and nights of working, finally made a new product he dreamt of. But no company can have only peachy days. Their new product, Macintosh, and all other products performed below their expectations. Then the board members of Apple started to attack Jobs. "Mr. Jobs, you are too reckless. You may collapse the company in the end." So Jobs took all the responsibility and got kicked out of the company he made himself. But he did not give up. He took an animation business and got successful in it. After which, Apple reached out its olive branch and called him in again after 13 years. "It was hard for all of us after you left. Please, come back and lead Apple." After sincere plead from the board members, Jobs decided to go back and said, "Apple is the company I grew with my own tears and blood. I will only get $1 of annual salary until the company is back on its feet." It was an expression that showed his determination. After Jobs came back, Apple successfully launched iPod and iPhone, other than their usual computers, and became a great corporation. As a reward, Jobs received an enormous share of Apple stock instead of the salary.